Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. This is BallTalk SportShow Episode 6. This is AK and Nick. How we doing, Nick?
Oh, doing fantastic. It's a special day. It's a Friday. It's usually a Thursday thing, so we're starting the weekend off real nice, getting this out to you guys, and I'm excited, as always.
Yeah, we had a lot of stuff going on, including some, Thursday Europa League with the Wolves. So we kind of pushed the episode back. We getting it to you on Friday. We got some extra news because of it. So let's waste no time. We got to hop into this. We're going to try and get this one quick because we got lots to talk about. First one we're just going to touch on is AB finally done with the NFL. Hopefully this is the last we hear of it. Just go on with your life, do other things. You're a millionaire. I'm sure you can make money doing other things. And there's plenty of other leagues, too, if you wanted to still play football.
He apparently meets with them next week still.
Yeah.
To figure out, and it's still, I think they either want money from him or he wants money from them. It's just a real weird situation, especially because AB is just, being a jackass, posting on Instagram about it.
Right.
Not really helping his case much, kind of acting a fool.
Yeah. I would
love to see him play again.
I just hope that, the drama of it goes away eventually. If you're not going to play, then just shut the fuck up and be done with it.
I feel you.
But if you are going to go play, just go play somewhere else. Leave the NFL, whatever, break it off. You can probably make some sort of money doing it somewhere else.
But how dope would it be?
And be a star somewhere else. If he came back to the NFL, I just can't see that happening, right? He's just burned too many bridges. There's no way. I don't think so, man.
What if a playoff team wants him?
I just don't. I don't see it. But we'll move on. We got some injuries to talk about here. AJ Green was supposed to be back this week, but had a setback, and he's not going to be in this week. Also, Evan Ingram and Sterling Shepard for the Giants are both out. Brissett for the Colts.
Luckily, they play the Jets.
Right, and Brissett for the Colts is a game-time decision, but Pat Mahomes is officially in for Sunday.
Okay.
So we got a bunch of different injuries, ins and outs here.
That Mahomes one, I
obviously
haven't heard that
Pat Mahomes has got to be the biggest one out of all of that.
Yeah, I hadn't heard that yet. That he was for sure. So
the backup did a good job while he was out, and I think they'll pick right up and be just fine. The AFC is obviously looking thin.
Their defense almost no way too.
Right, there's no way that they're not making the playoffs from here on out. As long as Pat Mahomes stays healthy, Tyreek Hill's been looking just as freakish. So,
he's incredible.
Yeah, but like you said too, good thing the Giants are playing the Jets. Otherwise, with Sterling Shepard out along with Evan Ingram, those are two of his.
Yeah.
Daniel Jones's,
best players.
Receivers, if you will.
Ingram's technically a tight end, but he's
in the passing game.
Exactly.
He's really good.
He's a nice weapon to have.
But they still have Saquon. We'll see how they can do. It's just the Jets. You think I can get it done.
Right.
But anyways, another injury kind of news. Zion Williamson should be back soon from his injury. I believe they're trying to get him back this week, later in the week, probably next Thursday. So look for that. Obviously, that's going to be really exciting to see.
Yeah, a little bit disappointing that he hasn't been in. Yeah, but
right.
Yeah. There should
last
be
couple,
a lot of hype.
Right. Yeah. Okay, so the last bit of actual news we have was just the LeBron back-to-back triple-doubles. The Lakers are looking good. Doesn't matter how much they're down. They can, rattle off a 15-16-0 run.
They're a really, really good basketball team.
Yeah.
And I think they'll continue to be. They haven't played the best teams.
Right.
When
they played the Clippers, they lost. But they have taking care of the teams that they need to take care of, and they're sitting at the top of the West due to it, So it's a good start. Good. They obviously need to keep it up, but if LeBron's still dropping triple doubles, and you know what Anthony Davis is bringing, with Kyle Kuzma, as long as they get some decent point guard play, they're good to go. And
it really comes down to staying
defense is
healthy.
really where it's been looking
defense,
crazy.
Obviously,
their defense has been really good. So,
right.
All right, the last little bit of news, I guess we're going to talk about. It's not necessarily news, but the college playoff rankings are out. This is like more than news, right?
Right,
because this is our first look into seeing
how
where they're
feels.
looking at the biggest wins are, because they're ranking this not only on who's still undefeated and whatnot. They're looking at who's got the biggest wins and where. So let's go ahead and pull on up the college football rankings. Is it? You think it's on ESPN or should we go to?
Yeah, it'll be on there, I believe. I have the top 8 written down either way.
For the playoff.
Yeah.
Okay, read them off to me then.
So number 1, Ohio State.
Nice.
Big for the Big Ten.
Yep.
Obviously not a big fan of Ohio State, but
no.
If you're one of those guys who likes your conference to succeed, Ohio State at number 1. That's big. They respect the Big Ten a lot. And this tells you that they might not have the best wins because really their best win right now might be Cincinnati. I guess Wisconsin. But I think that this says that the committee is more looking at eye test. Like, they look like the best team. Mm-hmm. And then, like I said, number 2, LSU. Number 3, Bama. Number 4, Penn State. And then number 5, Clemson, which I think is the biggest storyline.
We're gonna get some shakeup in this.
For sure.
This is just like a first starter list. There's not a whole lot we can. We can't just pencil people in, guarantee anything yet, because we're just now getting into these big games. But LSU, Alabama is this weekend.
Yes, and Penn State has Minnesota, who's
Penn
undefeated.
State and Minnesota are both undefeated. Yeah. If Minnesota beats Penn State, who knows where they could end up? You know what I'm saying? So there's really some interesting stuff gonna continue to play out here in the next couple weeks, and it's just heating up. These rankings got me hyped though.
Excuse me, but I think that is the biggest storyline of this rankings coming out is that Clemson is out of the top 4. They're the defending national title holder, and they haven't lost a game yet this season. Yet they find themselves at number 5. That's probably my the biggest takeaway, and like what I was saying earlier with the eye test. They had that game where North Carolina, if they get a 2-point conversion, they beat them. They had that was a 1-point win.
I actually wonder how much this is going to change just based on that LSU Alabama game alone. Does one of them fall out of the top 4? You would think so.
But it's also questionable because you are saying that they're up there right now. So if it's a really
what
good
I'm
game,
saying too, maybe it is close. Maybe they don't drop them out of the top 4. They keep them. Maybe LSU stays 2 and then 4, or maybe even LSU goes to 1 for beating Alabama. If that were to happen, they could definitely move into 1, and then Ohio State 2, maybe, and then Alabama could be 4, Clemson 4. It's going to be a shuffle, man. There's no way that we get the same thing that we have this week,
right?
And I don't know, is it an every week or every 2 weeks that they come out with?
Every week from now on.
From now until the end, okay. Yeah, so this is going to be cool, man. I can't wait to see that updated, but I think we should move on from that. We got college basketball to talk about. We just had a couple big games. Duke beat Kansas. Kentucky beat Michigan State. There was some players that really stood out, like Winston. There's a player from Kentucky, I can't remember his name, who really stood out to me too.
The guard.
He was. There were some really good players playing. They showed out, but wasn't the most, high scoring, crazy games.
Yeah,
but
pretty
they were both pretty close for the most part. And they're pretty fun. Good to see, what the top of the table's looking like right now for college basketball.
Yeah, it was competitive, but I would agree. It was a little sloppy, and not a lot of jump shots made. It really, it's a much, much different game than the NBA, like
Right.
drastically.
The NBA is just so much smoother.
Yeah, and
They know what they're
people are really hitting shots, and you can't really expect every team in the country to have all-star players, but I do think this one and done system that has been going on for a while has kind of not all the way taken away, but a little bit from how good teams used to be, just because they had guys who were older to complement. They had some really good players who were juniors and seniors to complement the young guys. But now it seems like it's young guys leading almost every team in the country. And that's why you see teams like Purdue.
Yeah, I don't know if it's there's definitely still some of those teams that really have some of those like senior groups that
Well, I was
build
about
together.
to say, like Purdue and Virginia last year.
Right.
Those were teams that,
They had some names on them, but they also had some guys that really had key spots that were seniors, made the big shots and plays. And, teams like Kentucky, Kansas, Duke, these teams that are going to get some of those guys that are going to be gone in a year. A lot of guys for some of these teams are gone in a year, so.
I think that's why we've seen.
It really changes the dynamic between, those superstars versus, what a coach can do with a team for multiple years at a time.
Yeah, I just feel like we've seen.
All right, folks, we had a little bit of a technical difficulty. Our recording stopped in the middle of the freaking podcast, but look, we're going to jump back into it. We left off. We were talking about some college basketball. I think we're just going to wrap up the college basketball talk with a little preview for Purdue versus Texas Saturday night, 7 p.m. at home. It's going to be a rocking atmosphere. I'm excited.
Yeah, same. It should be a sellout if it's not already. I'm super excited to see what our team actually looks like against a team that should be pretty good. Shaka Smart, great coach. So Texas, they'll be competitive no matter what. They're not ranked. I don't really know what their outlook for this year is, but we'll see what we look like against a Big 12 well-coached team.
We should get a good test out of them, and hopefully we'll pull out the dub. But yeah, anyways, we're going to end the college basketball on that and move on into some soccer. Champs League, Europa League. Europa League was Wolves and Arsenal. Arsenal got a tie. Who was that against?
I don't even know the name of the team.
Yeah,
but
I was going to say it wasn't a good performance.
A bad team.
Yeah, they definitely shouldn't have let them got the tie
but
at the end.
they equalized in the 93rd minute or something. Unfortunate for Arsenal. And then Wolves get a really, really big win. We actually moved to 9 points in the group, so we only need one more point to qualify, and we have 2 games left. So we got to get a draw either from the Braha game, and then we have another game against Besiktas. And Besiktas has been terrible. They haven't won a game in our group, and their goal differential is it's -8 or something.
Yeah, so you guys should definitely get that done. So it's
Wolves are going to be playing in the knockout stages of Europa League.
It's going to be
unless
fun.
I just cursed us. So
no,
should be really fun. Yeah.
But anyways, Champions League as well. We had Dortmund Inter. That was a crazy game. Chelsea Ajax, also a crazy game. Chelsea was down 1-4, comes back to tie it at 4-4. Almost had a winner, but it didn't count in the end. So 4-4, they tied Ajax, and then Dortmund beat Inter 3-2.
Yeah, tale of two halves here. Inter 2-0 at half. Looked like the better squad. They were attacking really well, kind of using just pace and some really good entry passes. They were cutting up the Dortmund defense in the first half, and they just had a few 3-on-2s or something to score a couple times.
Yeah, in the second half for Dortmund, it looked like they just swarmed the ball really well. And Inter just couldn't get possession for very long, and so Dortmund just found chance after chance and just dropped a few in.
Yeah, they
and really once that
momentum
got towards them, you just had a feeling they were winning it. But yeah, crazy games. It was really fun in the Champions League this week. And
yeah, and it's always
can't
fun
wait to see the last little bits of it here.
Yeah, always fun to see
knockouts.
Dortmund's home fans. They go crazy.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Oh yeah, that was really cool to watch as well.
Yeah, they're always entertaining and loud. So.
All right, let's move from football to football. Last night we had Thursday night. Chargers, Raiders. Raiders looks really good. Chargers still looks pretty good as well.
Yeah.
Obviously that Chargers offense is a pretty tough one to stop when they're rolling well. And the Raiders just were barely able to eke it out 26-24, but good game. The Raiders are looking like one of those teams that'll sneak into the AFC playoffs.
I'm thinking the same thing. If Rivers would have played better last night, the Chargers could have won that game. I think he threw 3 or 4 picks.
Yeah, a couple of those were pretty bad. Those were on him.
Right. No, yeah. He definitely made some really poor throws last night. But with that being said, all credit to the Raiders. They have looked good. They're back over 500. And I think that's, like you said, that's all it's going to take to clinch a wild card spot in the AFC. Unless things change drastically through the second half of the season.
Right.
But, yeah, it looks like if the Raiders can stay above 500, they are a good contender to clinch one of the two.
Right. I feel like there's a couple other teams that are going to be fighting there for it.
The
Maybe
Texans,
like Texans,
Colts.
Jaguars, Colts.
Right. Or, yeah.
It just kind of depends. Some of the Bills maybe even as well because obviously the Patriots are probably going to win that division. But
yeah, I guess that's true.
Anyways, that was a good game. Let's go into preview what we got Sunday. Colts play the Dolphins. Not too much to talk about here. Dolphins suck. So if my Colts don't get it done, I'm going to be really depressed. Otherwise, we should just handle work here. And like I said before, Brissett's a game time decision. So hopefully we get him and it'll be an all right win. Easy.
Yeah. Yeah, and if you don't get him, I think it's still an easy win. If he needs another week to rest, it's not the worst case scenario.
Yeah, we got Saints, Falcons, Rams, Steelers. A couple more games that are pretty much the same as Colts, Dolphins. We got a couple of these matchups. Saints, Falcons. The Saints should dominate that. And you think Rams, Steelers. Rams are the better team. Steelers have looked okay the last few weeks, but I still think the Rams get it done. And then Packers, Panthers. That could actually be a good game, but the Packers are looking to rebound, so I still think that they're pretty easily the favorite here.
Yeah, I would agree. And that's a home game for the Packers, so I think definitely they get back on track with a win here against the Panthers. I'm kind of on the Steelers train right now, especially at home. I think that's going to be a really tough matchup for the Rams. But
I just feel like the Rams are too good offensively. The Steelers' defense has looked better, but I don't know. I think they might get kind of sold out here. We'll see, though.
I think I'm just not sold on the Rams, honestly.
Yeah, we'll definitely find out how good the Rams' defense is this week, I think. We'll see how it goes. Vikings, Cowboys Sunday night, and then Seahawks, Niners Monday night. Those two are pretty huge matchups for the NFC. Vikings are a little bit up and down. They're definitely one of those middle-of-the-road NFC teams along with the Cowboys. So really whoever wins this is putting themselves in a better position. Obviously the Cowboys division has the Eagles in it, and that's going to be a close race towards the end, and every win's going to matter for them. I do think I believe the Cowboys are home, I want to say.
Yeah.
I believe the Cowboys are at home.
At the Cowboys.
Okay, so yeah, that could be the big decider there. I don't know for sure. Both of them look
agree.
decent, but I really think the Cowboys' offense is starting to click. We'll see how it goes.
Yeah, this is a really interesting matchup because these are two teams, like two of the best running backs in the league, with Dalvin Cook and Zeke Elliott. Two teams that, aren't afraid to give them like 25 runs and probably like 30 touches. So I think this is going to be a really, really good game. I'm excited it's going to be prime time.
Yep.
And I'm personally really cheering for the Vikings.
I got Zeke and I got Amari Cooper on my team. I'm going Cowboys.
Points is fun.
Cowboys.
Is fun. Bunch of points, but yeah, I just don't like the Cowboys.
I don't care.
Don't like Jerry Jones.
Don't care either way. My uncle's a Vikings fan. I always root against him, so,
That's
really,
fair enough.
Truly don't care
That's
too
fair
much.
enough.
But Seahawks, 49ers as well. That's a huge game. Divisional matchup. 49ers still undefeated. I think they stay undefeated here. I believe they're at home as well. And, this could be a close one. Both defenses. I mean, obviously the 49ers defense is very good. Seahawks, that's kind of where they lack a little bit. So, as long as 49ers get their weapons in, George Kittle's still questionable. So this will be an interesting matchup for sure because both teams offensively looked really good. So
yeah, I think a little bit of a bloodbath in this one. If the Seahawks can run the ball, I think they can win the game. Russell Wilson is always going to be consistent. So if you can give him a run game, if Carson can have a good game, if their offensive line can have a good game, which is easier said than done against.
To me, I just don't see it. I feel it's going to have to
building
be
a case for
Russell
the Seahawks,
Wilson magic type of game for them to win it, just because of how good that defense
is. Magical, though.
And you know that
it's a wizard.
That 49ers offense will figure out a way to get a couple scores, and I just don't know how much Russell's actually going to be able to put up here. But
we'll see.
It's going to be a really fun one. I can't wait. We also have some college football this weekend, Nick. Penn State, Minnesota, LSU, Alabama. 4 undefeated teams right now going head-to-head.
It's a really, really good weekend for football.
Insane.
Of all kinds. We'll get to the Premier League, and there are some really good matchups there too. So
yeah,
it is definitely a juicy one for sure.
Juicer.
All the way through Monday night. It's a dream.
Penn State, Minnesota, what do you think here?
Noon kick at Minnesota.
I think Minnesota might pull it out.
I don't think they spring an upset, but I'm not going to be surprised.
You can't rule it out for sure. Yeah.
Penn State hasn't looked unbeatable.
Right. They've looked good, but not unbeatable for sure. And LSU, Alabama, obviously probably the biggest. This feels like the biggest matchup so far of the year to me.
For sure.
There's been some pretty big games,
right.
Especially in the Big Ten. There's been some good ones, but as far as this conference, the 2 biggest teams really.
Yeah. 2 and 3.
I cannot wait for this matchup. See who gets this done. I think it's going to be pretty high scoring actually. Probably in the 30s for both teams, I would assume. Both quarterbacks, I think, have a lot of talent and weapons to use. So this is going to be an interesting game. And really, it's going to set the table for who's going to be set for that playoff berth and who's, going to have to fight for that last spot.
And the winner of this is going to be the front runner to get into the SEC championship game from the West,
because of how they have those 2 sections set up, man. It's going to be really close.
On the same side, it's tough.
Yep. Whoever loses is not looking good for that, and that could be the decider as well to get into the playoffs. So who even know?
Who do you give the nod to though? Where are you leaning? Yeah. Where are you leaning in this one?
Who's at home?
Bama. That's what I think. Yeah, that's what I think is a factor.
You gotta give it to Bama.
I think Bama at home gets it done.
If it was LSU at home, I think they might be able to. But if it's Alabama at home, I just don't see how LSU does it. But it'll be a fun game either way. We also have Iowa, Wisconsin, both sitting at 6-2 in the Big Ten. Some decent teams. Wisconsin got beat by Illinois. They looked a little shaky. So this is going to be a decent game. Actually, I think they're both on a similar level.
And this is a big one for the other side of the Big Ten.
Right. I think if Wisconsin manages to rebound, they'll have a chance to make some noise in that side of things. For sure.
Yeah, it'll come down to possibly the Minnesota-Wisconsin game last week of the season to potentially. So
Yep. Last college football game, Purdue at Northwestern.
noon kick as well.
Noon kick as well, yeah. Not, the craziest game. We should be able to handle Northwestern, but no game for us is ever a lock, so should be a fun one. I'm looking forward to it.
Northwestern's at -2.5 point favorites, so
even though they're 1-7, right?
I'm not giving any advice, but it's a 1-7 team.
Yeah, I would take Purdue +2.5, guys.
Yeah,
Lock it.
Money line.
All right.
Preferably.
Last thing we're going to talk about today, we got Premier League, and there is some juice this weekend. Wow, this might be the best Premier League weekend we've had in more than a month, I feel like.
Yeah, for sure.
Like, it's been
the biggest game of the year so far.
Yeah.
So
we got Leicester, Arsenal on Saturday. That's pretty much the one big one on Saturday. And then we got a stacked Sunday with Man United, Brighton, Wolves versus Villa, Man City, Liverpool. How exciting is that match?
Oh, yeah, best matchup of the league so far, as I said.
Easily. The top two right now.
Yeah, at Liverpool. So
Anfield. It's going to be lit.
Yeah, going to be interesting.
Yeah.
I still give the nod to Man City. I don't know. I really like Man City right now.
I will bet you $5 right now on the podcast that Liverpool wins over Man City.
All right.
Let's go. We got to wager, folks.
If it's a tie, no money.
Yeah, that's fine.
All right, bet.
Anyways, that matchup's going to be really fun. I think Man City overall has the better team, but Liverpool just racks up goals, and it could be over before they know it,
Yeah.
And I just... I give a slight lean to Liverpool, especially at home. So
I would say Liverpool's defense is better with Van Dijk and
sometimes it's not though. Sometimes it can
it
can definitely be beat, especially with a team like Man City.
Yeah.
Like you think about a team like Man City that can just pass and get inside and really have an easy finish and put up a goal.
I would say bang the over.
Quick.
I would say bang the over.
Yeah, I would say as well. I don't think there's going to be...
Not many people like the overs in soccer, but bang the over here.
Yeah, I like the overs in soccer, actually. Just depends on the team.
Right.
But anyways, let's go to Leicester Arsenal, because I also think this is a pretty big matchup for the league table. Leicester's sitting at 3, right? So I definitely lean Leicester's way, but Arsenal at times has looked pretty good, especially offensively, so... I think that should be a fun game.
Arsenal's obviously still good. Like, they've had a bad stretch here for the last 3 or 4 games, but you can't say they're a bad team.
Right, and if they string some wins together here in the Premier League and they do well in the Europa League, it's not like, they're going to be thinking that it's been a bad year. It's been okay so far, but they can still, I think, remain one of the top teams.
Oh, for sure. Yeah,
they'll be 7.
They'll be fighting to get back into that top 4 because they're at 5th right now.
Right.
But 6 points out. So it is kind of a gap between them and Chelsea.
Chelsea.
Yeah, Chelsea's.
But Chelsea hasn't looked that good, so you know what I'm saying? It could
swing.
It could differ. That's all I'm saying. It's
it's gonna get tossed up because there's a lot of teams up there that are really not very good. Brighton's at 8, Crystal Palace is at 9, Sheffield's at 6, which I think Sheffield's okay, but probably not top 6. Mm-hmm. Same with Bournemouth at 7. So it's an interesting table right now, but I think it should get kind of back to even keel with the better squads, finding their legs here a little bit come December, January.
Right. Yeah. And lastly, you want to talk about that Wolves-Villa game.
Yeah, Wolves-Villa, this is big for Wolves. These clubs are only, I think, like 13 miles apart. In the Midlands, the Black Country, as over in Wolverhampton. But yeah, it's at Molineux, so a home game for Wolves. I'm really looking forward to seeing this play out, because we kind of need a win right here. We lost to them in a cup tie, which didn't really matter, but it's always like it always means something to get a win against a team you just lost to. So,
and especially somebody that close. You know
right,
what I'm saying?
exactly.
It's a little bit of a rivalry.
Yeah.
And you know you're going to have plenty of fans there.
Right,
It's
from
gonna be,
Villa. So
it's going to be
a
really good, intensity environment.
Right.
And, when Wolves really get that pressure put on the other team and, get their fans in it and really just have that pressure and just put it on them. They're getting a goal or two here, I think.
Yeah, it's fun.
Villa's defense sometimes can do really well, but I don't think that for the whole game they'll keep them out.
Yeah, I see a second half kind of Wolves story of the season so far. I see us having a second half, couple goals, win 2-0 at home, hopefully.
2-1, I'm thinking maybe.
Villa could get one. Our defense has looked very improved. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Connor Cody, that's the only guy I'm worried about.
Right.
But
anyways, that's looking pretty interesting Premier League weekend. I can't wait for that. And then obviously there's going to be more Champions League. I think that's not next week, but maybe a week or two after. So we'll get to that whenever it's getting a little closer. So definitely some fun stuff in European soccer, especially the Europa League as well, almost to the knockouts. So really exciting stuff coming forward, guys. Not just this weekend, but also just in the next couple months. So stay tuned. I think we're gonna wrap it up here. A little bit of a weird episode with the little technical difficulty there in the middle, but
we'll see how that all works out.
We're still pumping out stuff for you guys, and we appreciate anybody out there listening. Thanks for the support.
Absolutely. I'm really excited for this weekend, and then even more excited to get back to it on Monday and talk about this weekend. So,
yep, we'll definitely see you guys Monday for the recap episode. Thank you guys so much.
Yep, have a good one.